All right, here we're going to talk a little bit about how to get little notches in for any kind of highlight pieces you have. In this particular case, we have a panel molding coming off a fluted casing down to the panel, and then between the panels we have these brass T's which kind of hold everything in place, and then this is another structure point. I mean, really it's all decorative. And to tie it all together, we basically cut a little notch out to make sure that this piece comes out and that this is kind of almost exactly flush against the panel. Makes it look nice and smooth, nice and clean, okay? And so to do that, it's really simple. All you need to do is you're going to set up your piece the way you're going to want to cut it. All I do is I put a piece of little wood up on the back here. I got a little piece of wood right here, holding it up at the angle that I need. Okay, so that when I get this blade down, okay, I want to make sure that it's kind of spinning in a fashion that I end up cutting it straight, right? If this is a little forward, I'm taking off too much from the front. If this is all the way back, I might be taking a little bit more from the back. So try to center that piece, that cut, so then when you use the saw, it ends up cutting kind of straight down as opposed to at an angle like this or an angle like that, because you're not going to get the effect that you want here, okay? And then to get your notch, it's really simple how to get a perfect notch too. So in this case, you're going to put your molding up against where you want it. I got the miter cut at the bottom first, so I got my miters lined up perfectly. Then I got this up against the way it's going to be in the final position. And then all I do is I come up here with a blade. A pen works, but really you get a much better result using just a blade. Get right up against it with your box cutter perfectly, make a little notch on the top and the bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to lay this down in here. Okay, see, I set this up in a way so that this angle is correct. So that, again, that this is flat, right? So this is pretty much an even plane, perfectly flat, because the piece I'm putting in there is flat. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to find my notches. All right. There they are. Okay. And I'm just going to cut on one side with the laser, and then I'm going to cut with the other side. But again, don't use the laser to cut the other side, because your blade is always set up to cut from one side. So make sure when you come down that you're looking at where your blade is going to hit this. I'm really bad at making these videos because I always just do them with one hand, but I can't really show you. So, but you get the point, okay? And all you do is you very, 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 very gently lower this down just a little bit on one side and then just a little bit on the other side to the depth that you need. So you need to get a little bit used to this. I would say maybe practice on some small scrap pieces to understand the theory of it. And then what I do is I just go in there just a little bit, and then I'll go on the other side, make that cut, and then what I'll do is I'll feed it. So I'm going to keep it at that depth, and then with my other hand, as I hold it down at the depth that I need when I make that cut, and then with my other hand I'm going to push this molding down until I get to the other cut, and I'm going to end up with a perfect smooth kind of chamfer. Okay, there's many ways to do this. Obviously you could chisel this and stuff like that, and in this video it may not show how easy it is, but I prefer to do it this way with instead of chiseling it. I find it to be pretty simple, especially if you were to use the saw and you're using it to make your miters. You can use it to make your notches too. Same tool, much easier process. Okay, and then we're gonna end up with some really beautiful, final work, which is gonna look pretty nice. It looks good when your pieces are in there. These are not attached in yet, so once they are, they're gonna look really good, nice and tight. I'm still gonna sand them down a little bit, just a tad bit, just to make sure they're even when I'm done. And then I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. I mean, this is pretty much the final product already right here. So all I'm gonna do is also I'm gonna paint these because I don't like the color here. Need more contrast going on. So that's that. I hope I taught you guys something. If you have any questions, let me know. As always, keep creating.